Well, guys, this one is called No One Can Decide What Pizza Is. As bad as this thumbnail is, I really don't think it's that horrible. Because at the end of the day, I would rather eat this than pineapple on pizza. But that's just me. I just think it's better, objectively. Like, this is savory. And so I would rather eat this instead. That's just my take. Maybe you think I'm fucking insane, but I think that I'm right.
Why don't you go ahead and tell me what's on a pizza? Just
cheese, mozzarella sauce, savory or complimentary condiments that are not pineapple.
say it out loud. Tell me what you would find on a standard pizza.
Already
I know
did.
this video is not going to be one of those tired old arguments of, you can't put pineapple on a pizza? That's sacrilege. I can't believe that the thing that people like to eat on top of another thing that people like to eat? What the fuck is wrong with you? You can put whatever you want on a pizza.
You can make jokes like that as much as you want. You can say, oh, it's so ridiculous to tell people what they can and they cannot eat. Well, you know what? I think it's better to be a contrarian and actually stand for something. You fucking people who say shit like, oh, just because I don't like it doesn't mean that anybody else should have it, oh. You don't stand for anything. You have no fucking morals. You have no fucking soul. You're an NPC, and you don't believe anything in your life, and you will forever be empty and sad and alone, okay? Stand for something. Either you're for pineapples on pizza, or you're against it. You're not some person who's in the middle and is like, oh, well, I really don't care. Shut the fuck up, have an opinion!
You can put fiberglass insulation on there. You could put bubble gum. You could put a second pizza that you burned slightly because you forgot it was in the oven. It doesn't matter. You can put whatever the hell you want on pizza because the world unanimously cannot even agree what a pizza is. So what were your answers to my initial question, which you actually should have participated at home along with? I'm trying to beat Dora the Explorer in the ratings. Did you say tomato sauce? Did you say cheese? You say pizza dough? Wrong. A pizza could hypothetically be made out of mayonnaise and corn on a flatbread, and that's not wrong.
We don't even need dictionaries anymore. We don't need them because we have rejected the definition of things. We have rejected the definition of entities. We don't even care anymore. We live in a fucking lawless society. Nothing means anything. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here.
Around the world, everyone's got their own fancy pizzas with all sorts of wacky and weird toppings. Yes, traditional pizza as we usually identify it started in Italy and spread to the rest of the world, but now there's so many different types of pizzas, are they really not a pizza?
I think Italians need to admit that we took it and we did it better.
Are you sure? Let me give you some examples. Okay, first up is Australian pizza. Not getting too wacky, they just tend to prefer slightly different things. They turn the idea of pizza upside down a little bit, if you will, which I guess to them means that they just eat regular pizza. They often prefer barbecue sauce, ham, and pineapple.
Who is my fucking Australian chatter? I know there's one of you. I know there's fucking one of you. Which one of you fucking is it? Explain this for me. Explain yourself. Hi, me? Yeah, explain yourself. Explain it. Why? No, I just want to know why. Ham and fucking pineapple? I think Australians deserve their spiders.
Yeah, nothing crazy, nothing wild. Sometimes when they want to be utterly disgusting.
How do Australians not realize that, like, life is really easy to explain when you imagine that you are being punished for your crimes? Like, every bad thing that happens to you is a punishment, right? For something you did. And in this case, it's because you fucking ate pineapple ham pizza. What the fuck is that?
Disgusting and ruin a perfectly good pizza, they'll throw a fried egg in the middle as well. I get it.
What?
It's wrong, but I get it. All right, now let's take a look at Indian pizza here. Indian pizza doesn't typically use Italian or regular-ass mozzarella cheese.
This looks so normal.
They go for a cheese called paneer, which is basically like a cottage cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, you know the world's least popular cheese, the one that sits in your fridge until it rots and you throw it out? Let's put that on one of the most popular foods of all time. Thanks.
You're just a hater. You're just a fucking hater. You're just a fucking hater. Ain't no way you let the Australian pizza get away with nothing. Oh, but we target India. Oh, India has a completely normal fucking pizza. But let's make sure that we say it's disgusting and nasty and the worst cheese ever. I see what you're doing.
It's India. Meats in Indian pizza also typically include mutton or sheep and chicken tikka, which is basically chicken marinated in yogurt and spices.
I've
Chicken
never had
is
sheep.
good.
I can't speak on it. I can't speak on it.
Wouldn't you? Spiced chicken? Oh God, don't tell me. Don't tell me you're one of those
What
people
is
that
that?
thinks chicken doesn't go on pizza. Let me tell you a secret. Chicken mushroom pizza.
I don't think that chicken doesn't go on pizza, but I do think that chicken on pizza does not taste as good as you would expect.
Enjoy your grease factory known as pepperoni and your diarrhea fest.
I will! Yeah, I will! I will, actually. Yep, I will, in fact, enjoy my fucking oil and fucking diabetic diarrhea factory known as normal fucking pizza, because God knows when I buy a pizza and I want to eat a pizza, I'm not really looking to, like, improve my health at that day. I'm trying to eat my fucking feelings. So yeah, I will enjoy it. Thank you.
Full of sausage. I'll take healthy and meaty. French pizza's pretty mundane. They usually
I'm gonna hate it just because it's French, okay? That's the bit for this one.
just use a very thin, almost crunchy crust, and they
Disgusting.
top it with a shitload of cheeses. Fried egg, parsley, and garlic.
Damn, I can't shit on having a lot of cheese, but I will shit on the, like, thin crust. I think thin crust is so overrated. I think it's really overrated. It's like they invented the thin crust to, like, make it healthier or have, like, less calories, but objectively, it tastes worse. It's not the same. The thickness of the bread is important for the overall flavor of the pizza. And that's what I've learned after eating thin crust pizza a couple times in my life. It's just not as good. It's not the same.
Garlic are also common here. We haven't gotten really all that crazy yet. Now let's get to the shit shows. Japan.
The shit show?
How could you? How could
Wait, what? I mean, that's a lot of meat. Is it fish? Is it fish? Is it fish? What is this?
you? How fucking could you? Domino's in Japan is
Oh, shit.
actually stupidly popular. They love Domino's pizza and pizza in general. Domino's has actually opened 50 restaurants per year in the last 10 years in Japan, which means they've given them ample opportunity to completely
Wait, this looks good though. This right here, this looks based. I don't need that cheese on that, but like other than that, wow, this looks wow. Yeah, this looks good as shit.
and utterly fuck up the idea of pizza. Popular Japanese pizza ingredients include mayonnaise.
I mean, I like ranch on pizza. I've never tried mayonnaise. I guess I could. Wait. Is that mayonnaise and not cheese? I'm so confused. Where's
you
the
see that
mayonnaise
thing covered in
going?
cheese and sauce, tomatoes and this and that? It needs mayo. Just needs creamy mayo.
So I've decided not to be a weeaboo anymore.
Mayonnaise on there. The creamier the better. I wanna gag every time I power this into my throat. Please. But that's not where it ends. No.
But you're
Cooked
eating it?
potatoes. Very often common in Japan. You've got one of the doughiest known foods known to man, with a literal tenacity for a pillowy, flaky crust. And you decide, nah, potato.
I just want to shout out this guy whose name is Just Richard and said, I want to gag when it's powered in my throat too. Congratulations. I hope you work on your gag reflex, king.
Potato it. Just slap a bunch of fucking potatoes on there. I'm vastly confused as how this is not Irish pizza, but what are you gonna do? And finally, yellow corn.
Yeah.
Actually, I actually don't hate that one.
That's a fucking mess. From start to finish, a fucking mess. Mayonnaise, potatoes, and corn. This feels like something that, like, if you told a Japanese person, you're just like, hey, yeah, you know what foreigners eat? They eat like fucking, I don't know, like mayonnaise and corn and fucking potatoes and shit. And they were like, you know what? Yeah, they do. We should put that all in a fucking pizza, and then we'll call it America meal.
Not that much. Corn's pretty mild. Cook a lot with, you know what? Maybe I'll try some corn. If you hear
Corn
an
on
ambulance
pizza's mid.
outside,
It's kind of weird, but
there's
it's
not much I
whatever.
can do about it. I'll bet it's someone who just took a bite of Japanese pizza. Russia. Oh, Russia. A people known throughout the internet for literally smashing baseball bats on their heads and going, all right, well, I'm half done with tonight. Russian pizza is usually heavily invested in seafood. Shredded tuna, mackerel, salmon. And as for veggies,
This is literally what I expected from the Japanese pizza. What the hell? What the hell?
think they would maybe mild that up or create a diverse palate. Nope. Onions. Lots of onions. Russians love cheese, fish, and onion pizza. Great. Remind
Is he spreading propaganda? Is he spreading propaganda? Because I'm seeing people being like, lies, lies, it's not true. Oh my god. No. Wait, he's telling the truth, and then there's like fucking Russian agents trying to control the narrative. Like they don't want Americans to know that they have the fucking fish pizza.
Me to never kiss a Russian woman. Turkey. Now,
no
would you
pizza?
like to take a guess? Would you?
No pizza?
In
no,
the country
what?
Of Turkey. Would you like to imagine what? I won't spoil it, but would you like to imagine what they put on their pizza?
No, I can't imagine it.
Remember, they're called
turkey. I can't
turkey.
picture it.
What do they put on it? Beef and lamb. They also don't use cheese. They put a mixture of parsley and red onion on top. Traditionally, they also take...
This looks dry as shit. Like, this just looks unpleasant. This doesn't even look like pizza. This looks... Oh god, it looks like something I'd feed my cat.
The pizza, roll it up like a sandwich, and finish it with a squeeze of lemon. How the fuck is this pizza? Why is this called pizza?
I hate dry food, I'm not gonna lie.
Why? But it is. That's Turkish pizza. Spain. Spanish pizza here, not...
What? Where's the cheese? You added like the tomato... Is that peas?
A pizza
Bro, they
place in
just
a city
threw
near me
shit. They just
styles
fucking
itself as an
threw
Asian pizza
shit
restaurant, and their
onto
best
this
seller is a
dough,
crab rangoon pizza with
and then
a
they
chili
said,
oil
"It's a
based
pizza,
sauce.
guys.
I was
Put it in the
skeptical, but
oven."
God strike me down if it isn't one of the best pizzas I've ever had.
God is going to strike you down.
Not South America Spanish, but specifically Spain.
Thank you, though.
Spain people enjoy pizza with candied fruit, pine nuts, squash, caramelized onions, red peppers, veggies, fish, sugar, citrus, and anisette. I don't even know what that is. Okay, anisette. Oh.
Literally no one in Spain eats that. Are you sure? Are you sure it's not just being eaten in secret behind back alleys where no one will judge them?
Or anise is flavored liqueur that is commonly found in Mediterranean countries.
Liqueur.
Pizza from Spain is a fucking flavor mess that will get you shithoused so you don't realize how awful it tastes. If anything, they're geniuses reinventing the pizza game. Sweden! You want to guess Swedish meatballs?
I swear to God, if they have that nasty fucking fermented fish on this pizza.
No, they're not on Swedish pizza, because that would make sense. Swedish pizza has peanuts, banana, chicken, curry powder, duck.
I want PewDiePie banned off the platform. I want him fucking deplatformed. I want him canceled. I want him gone, because he has not explained this shit.
And black currants. Currants are kind of like raisins.
No, this is the worst.
Like dried grapes. Which
this
are
is
raisins.
The worst.
I'm not talking about like electrical current. That pizza would be quite a shock though, huh? Sorry. Also, they don't use traditional marinara sauce. A lot of you probably just breathe the sauce.
Oh my god. This is why I said that every pizza needs to have like a fucking marinara sauce and cheese and then like condiments, because we have to stop somewhere. We have to draw a fucking line.
Oh, thank God. Maybe, okay, so if they're doing like a fruity chicken, maybe they use a nice glaze. Maybe they use sugar in it. Maybe they top it with like a complimentary remoulade. No, they use Béarnaise sauce. You know, Béarnaise sauce.
What is that?
Made from butter and egg yolk and vinegar.
Sorry, I was just thinking that I'm really glad I've never really done 23andMe, because, you know, as a white person, you tend to have like a bunch of different types of like white people in your blood, and I would actually be having a life crisis right now if there was even 1% Swedish inside me.
Flavored with herbs. God, If I ever have a thick bowl
Thanks
of
for the
béarnaise
nya.
sauce, the first things I want
Nya.
to dip in there are bananas and sugar. You can't
What are we
even
doing?
truly excuse the Italians anymore for inventing the pizza. They don't stick to their guns that much. A current new popular pizza in Rome is where you take a really thin crust, burn the shit out of
Why
it,
is it
and then top it
burnt?
with fresh ingredients so
But
it
why?
crunches like a cracker. It's
But
not too
You are literally doing something so unhealthy, bro. Eating burnt food is a carcinogen.
far-flung from the idea, but man, pizza just seems to be whatever the hell you want on a flat thing of dough, isn't it?
Just make it
Lebanese
crispy.
pizza from Lebanon. I know, shocking.
What?
Lebanese pizza is soft, chewy dough, but instead
Huh?
of mozzarella cheese, you're gonna find kashkwan or a
When he said Kushkwan, I thought of Kush, and I was like, they put weed on their fucking pizza. Some of these people are gonna say that's base. Hello, welcome, Death God.
kawi, which are, I thought it would be way more exciting. They're just common cheeses from Lebanon. But for meat toppings, they get really fucking crazy with chicken and lamb. Okay, you know what? After the Swedish pizza, I don't think much is gonna really scare
Yeah,
me.
no,
At the
that
very
one took the
least,
cake.
I'm
That
hoping
and
this
the
video
Japan
makes some of
pizza.
you out there feel silly for going, Chicago pizza's not real pizza. You can't put pineapples on that. It's like, have you seen the rest of the world? They get fucking wild.
I mean, he's right
China
there.
has a lot of knockoff franchises because, of course, they do. They directly try to replicate.
Okay, I may eat my words, but I have faith. I have faith that the Chinese are gonna make a banger pizza, okay? I have faith. Let's see.
Papa John's and Domino's. But when they do, they make sure to add pea pods, water chestnuts, soy sauce, ginger, and onions. And then finally, the pizza that inspired me to
What?
make this video, because it's so close
I mean, that's
to
not that
getting it right.
bad.
You can see where they tried. You can see where they had the right
I'm about to get a new reason to make fun of that one chatter.
idea. Brazilian pizza. To make a Brazilian pizza, you take a thin crust, not that far off so far, then you put ketchup on it.
You couldn't afford to turn the fucking tomato into fucking marinara instead of ketchup?
Put
Just
a nice
smash
little
it. Just smash it. Just fucking smash it. You put sugar. That's more expensive. You made it more
glaze
expensive.
of ketchup on the bottom. Then you pile it on with cold shredded Brazilian cheese that's about this thick.
Okay.
To the part where if you pick up a slice, it just topples the fuck off. Now, you're probably asking me, if you pick up a slice, how would the cheese fall off? Wouldn't it be cooked? No. Brazilian pizza is also usually undercooked. You just kind of
I'm just gonna keep playing it.
crisp the bottom up a little bit. So you make a Dorito on the bottom and a mountain of cold cheese on top. Now, that's a little boring, so Brazilians, of course, looked to the innovators of the modern world, the Japanese, and said, let's add mayonnaise and corn again.
I think it'll be a miracle if all of us are able to walk away from this video without being racist towards at least one type of pizza here.
And too much mayonnaise and somehow a decent amount of corn. Then after this whole mess is cooked up, you pull it out and you smatter it with whole olives. Pick up a whole olive, drop it on. Just put them wherever you want. No, don't slice them, that's stupid. And there you have Brazilian pizza. I applaud the tenacity. I admire how close they were. But what the fuck?
They weren't even close. What are you talking about? What do you mean they were so close? They got the dough. They got some dough. They didn't even fucking cook it. And then they put on ketchup instead of marinara. Literally wasting ketchup, wasting sugar. And then they took the worst lessons they possibly could from Japan. They put fucking corn and mayonnaise. Where did they get close? What part were you like, oh, you were so close, just like right here, you made it. Where was that? Where was that?
And you know what? I didn't even touch dessert pizzas. Try explain.
Okay, well, dessert pizza is not real pizza, but it's still kind of banger, I'm not gonna lie.
To me that certain toppings are wrong when pizza can have...
Dessert pizza? You mean a regular dessert cooked in the shape of a pizza? So true, so real. If something is a circle, that does not make it a pizza.
Chocolate and marshmallows on it. I don't even care how delicious that shit is. The rules have been thrown out the window when it comes to pizza. So the next time you are having a debate on what you should get on pizza, just remember
it ain't
that
gonna
based
be fucking
on where
Brazilian
you live,
pizza.
this question could go a million ways. Some of them, frankly, kind of disgusting.
Oh man. Can you imagine two people talking to each other and they're just like, God, I fucking can't stand Brazilians. Like, I just can't handle them. And someone's like, oh my God, yeah, so true. Like, they're really loud, right? And then someone's like, well, what? What the fuck? What are you talking? I don't care about that. Have you seen their fucking pizza? Like, Jesus. Honestly, subhuman. Thank you for the hydration. Oh. No, I'm sure that Brazilians are good people. I just wouldn't ask them to cook anything, right? Okay. So now we have this as well. Attractive Girls Union refuses to talk with Mike Greenman. This is from The Onion, so let's see what... I don't know what the fuck this is gonna be.
In just a moment, we'll be hearing a statement from the Attractive Girls Union, which is still refusing to enter talks with Mike.
Guys, I would totally be a part of the Attractive Girls Union.
Greenman. For months now, the Attractive Girls Union has declined to negotiate with Mr. Greenman or even smile back at him when he smiles at them in a bar.
Oh.
Let's go live to that press conference now.
Wait, isn't that one guy who's like, was he the MySpace guy who everyone had on their friends list? Is that what that is that the joke here?
Girls Union has resolved to continue ignoring Mike Greenman and will remain firm on that stance until such a time as Mike starts dressing better or at least gets rid of that goatee. Although it is clear Mike is very eager to come to the bargaining table with us, at this juncture we cannot negotiate with an individual who stares at us for half an hour.
I'm toxic. I'm toxic towards real women because I'm looking at them and I'm like, Attractive Girls Union. I guess they're not vetting their members.
We're coming over to tell us he likes our shoes and then stands there awkwardly. I will now take your questions.
Zero, welcome.
Respond to the new pants Mike Greenman is wearing today.
We have not noticed them. Next question.
Joining us now for analysis is arbitration expert Nick Gold.
I like how they've all mastered, like, the actresses. I like how they've mastered the fucking bitch stare. The bitch stare, the, like, I'm better than you and I will never talk to you stare. Perfect
Bad news here
portrayal.
for Mr. Greenman today.
Yeah, it was a real disappointment. Mike has tried to initiate talks with the Attractive Girls Union hundreds of times at bookstores, bars, the grocery store, parties, on the street, at concerts, in elevators, once in a dentist's office, which is very awkward. But in most cases like this, he would have at least gotten a fake phone number by now. But clearly, these attractive girls are playing hardball here.
So they're not giving him anything, it seems.
They're not.
Well, there were reports last week Mr. Greenman was able to procure a brief parlay with one union member at a Starbucks. Now, what was the result of that?
Well, Mr. Greenman inquired if anyone was sharing her table, and the official, whose sources say was, quote, hot enough to be a model, responded that she was pretty sure someone was sitting there. Right. She then went back to reading her book, effectively shutting the door on negotiations.
Oh, so at least there's some dialogue there. Could you talk us through the deal that Mr. Greenman is offering the Attractive Girls Union at this point?
Well, he's begun doing 5 to 6 push-ups per night and has announced plans to start jogging soon. That's in addition to what he's offered since the beginning of this standoff, namely being up for anything and a nice guy, unlike most of the douchebags the Attractive Girls Union repeatedly renews their contracts with.
But the union still refuses to budge.
That's right. If he were dealing with the slightly overweight, frizzy-haired Girls Union or the insecure Ugg boots over jean Girls Union, it would be enough.
Sure.
But the Attractive Girls Union is very powerful, and they know they don't have to compromise here.
Nick, the Attractive Girls Union has just been asked to cite the specifics of what they're demanding of Mike Greenman before they'll talk with him. Let's go to that now.
But not pretentious. Additionally, he must guarantee conversation topics outside of video games, his job at Barnes & Noble,
Fuck them, they're not worth it.
and the New York Giants.
He has a job at Barnes & Noble? Damn, that's actually cool. You get, like, discounts on books. I like that. I can buy my yaoi manga and shit and get a discount.
Which is the full extent of what he currently offers. And he must also commit to a censure on laughing at his own jokes.
At the expense of sounding like a podcast, bro, what are you bringing to the table, huh?
A hard bargain there. Mr. Goldiner, what's your take?
At this point, these demands are going to be impossible for Mike to meet. He has zero chance with the Attractive Girls Union, barring some unforeseen influx of money or if he joins a band.
Do you have any idea how long this standoff could last?
Well, it's been going on for Mike's entire life at this point, so there's really no reason to think it would change. He fucks up everything. Why does he even try anymore?
Well, we'll all be watching to see what happens.
I have a two-part question.
Yes.
When you saw Mr. Greenman in the bar last week, and when you smiled, and then when he waved, you laughed. Were those both at him?
I'm sorry?
Or were you looking at him when you smiled?
I don't remember.
Or were you smiling at someone else and laughed because he thought you were smiling at him when you waved?
I really don't remember.
Okay,
She
second
doesn't
part,
remember,
why did
guys.
you smile at him once and then not even react the next time he waved?
Okay, I don't know what the incident is that you're referring to. I don't remember. Any other questions regarding my smile or wave need to be directed towards my office.
So true. So true. My God. I don't know. I think I'll just, like, negotiate with the mid-girls union instead. We'll have more in common. Here's the thing. I feel like, and not to sound like a complete femcel who's trying to, like, get you to pay attention to more women like me, but women who are very pretty, and I'm not talking about just pretty, I mean very pretty, like very attractive, like, wow, I would go into that girl in my pornos attractive. They probably spend a lot of time to look that way. And you're probably not going to have a lot in common with them. You're very pretty. I'm an anime character.
We begin with up to the minute financial fallout shelter.
Oh, wait. The title of this was Nation's Girlfriends Unveil New Economic Plan. Let's move in together. Okay.
Coverage of today's top story. The nation's
Another
girlfriends
onion one.
continue to press for an economic recovery plan they say could save the nation as much as $220 billion annually if their boyfriends simply agree to move in with them. Prominent girlfriends from across the country testified before Congress earlier today.
Our plan could dramatically cut expenditures for more than 1.2 million American couples who basically live together anyway, if you look at how much time they spend with each other.
There has been some criticism
That's
that
like
you're
you and me,
pushing
Chatty.
America's boyfriends.
Let's move
that it's
in.
not time for this type of
Have a
situation.
seat, Ingersoll. This is not even about wanting to live together. Even though a lot of us have been together with our boyfriends from anywhere between a year and 3 years, and everyone who knows us says we're the perfect couple. In a recession, it just doesn't make any sense for two people who say they love each other to pay separate rents.
Joining us now
kinda
live
spittin'.
from
She's
Washington
kinda
is
spittin'.
a spokeswoman for the nation's girlfriends, Kelly Ambrose. Welcome, Kelly.
Hello, Andrea.
Now, you and the other girlfriends have been very vocal about this plan in the past few days. Why the sudden push?
My favorite part of this is, like, this came out 15 years ago, and so now rent is even crazier.
Andrea, the slogan of our movement is, it's time. This plan just makes
It's
sense for
time.
us financially.
But some boyfriends have said there are other ways to save money, like not going out for expensive dinners and extraneous brunches, or not taking that trip to Vermont to see the leaves change.
Yes, but in our plan, we don't have to make cuts. In fact, we could even use some of the money we save on sports things or whatever boyfriends want.
Oh, well, but isn't there...
And our plan will also encourage consumer spending, since having new apartments would spur an anticipated 45% increase in dinner parties, cocktail parties, maybe even a Halloween party with fun drinks that have Halloween-related names.
Now, some
5% just having people over sometimes.
Some boyfriends have been dragging their feet on this issue.
That's right. Do the nation's boyfriends want to sit there just watching our national debt grow and grow while their stupid roommate Chad hangs out in the living room playing video games 24 hours a day?
Sure.
So the boyfriend can never watch a movie, even if his girlfriend brings over a DVD that she has rented.
Okay, well, we have a boy...
I don't know, guys. Are you disagreeing with this? She's kind of right. Like, everything she's saying is making sense to me.
Boyfriend Representative Jake Larson here with us to help provide another perspective on this issue.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you. Hi, Kels.
Hi, honey.
Now, Jake...
Also, I realize that this is a joke, but if you've been with someone for like 2 to 3 years and you don't want to try to move in with them, like, I'm not saying marry them, but like move in, live together. You don't want to trial that before you commit further to the relationship?
You're familiar with the girlfriend's plan, correct?
Yes, I've been briefed on it several times, and it's our contention that things are fine. This doesn't have to be a big deal.
But you have stated that the plan could, quote, tie the nation's boyfriends into long-term living arrangements that could inhibit future independence.
There you go. There you have it. They don't want to commit. They don't want to commit. I'm about to become a female podcaster.
Right.
Inhibit, you mean like smothering? Is that how you think of this plan?
No, I never used that word.
But you did imply it.
It was in your tone, Jake.
I
was in
I
your
really
tone,
don't want to
Chatty.
argue about this.
Okay, we're not arguing, Jake. We're just talking.
Well, can we discuss this another time?
Yeah, we're just
What's
talking,
going to
Chatty.
change between now and
Why
tomorrow,
would we talk
Jake?
about this tomorrow? We're already talking about this now.
Jake, if there's some reason you're opposed to this plan, you can say so, and nobody will be mad.
But, you know, I just feel like it's too soon.
That's a trap.
Okay.
Fine.
Fine then. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Later in the hour, we'll talk to the nation's mothers about what this plan means for the possibility of them ever having grandchildren. Moving on, a study finds that most Americans' retirement plans consist of finding a briefcase of money.
Based! It's still the same!
Will there
I don't know
be
about
any
y'all, but I'm gonna
provisions
buy
made
mine.
for game days during football season?
Yes, the girlfriends love football, and they
Oh,
can
do
make
they?
snacks and dips and cookies for all the guys. It'll be fun.
Now, some of this research dates back to August 2006. Why had you begun planning a move the very same year many of the girls met their boyfriends?
Is that true, Lucy? Chatty, I would love to make you cookies and chips. Well, I wouldn't be making you chips. I guess I'd just make the bowl or whatever. But yeah, we could like sit down and watch the sports that I want to watch. Football? Ah, you can watch it yourself.
That research was preliminary. It never hurts to be prepared.
But what about when John moved in with Tara, and then she dumped him, and he had to find a roommate on Craigslist?
That was a highly unusual situation, Congressman.
What sports would you watch? Baseball. Because I'm American.
Yes, Tara is my friend, but you know how she is.
And what is this about a waffle maker?
Come on, representatives of Congress. It is vital that you do something to incentivize the boyfriends to see that this is right for the nation. Because it is.
She's so right.
And what if the nation's economy turns around? Would we then consider having two places again?
Are you implying that the boyfriends would want to move out?
Exactly! Exactly!
Why would they want to do that when things are great and we are trying so hard to make them happy?
I mean, I'm just saying. It's different if it's like you've been together for only a few months. She's like, oh my God, let's like move in together. 2 to 3 years. Really? I think you should just break up if you don't want to move in then, right? Like you should just break up because like if she wants commitment and you don't want to do that, like you should just break up with each other because you want different things. This is gonna be controversial. Speaking of podcasts, let's see how this goes. Jesus Christ.
All right, and welcome to the Whichever Podcast. My name is John.
The Whichever
and with us today we
Podcast.
have Emily Smith, who is a 2-time New York Times
I love when guys, like when they're trying to portray a woman, they just like put some weird shit on their head.
best-selling author and a PhD candidate at Stanford University. It's a pleasure to be here. How many dudes have you been with?
How many chatties are following right now? We have like 150. I've been with like 150,000 guys or something.
Private. Oh, not dating, just sex. How many dudes have been inside you, and was that to completion? And if
Are we counting the amount of times they've had mental fantasies about me? Because that's hard for me to know.
so, was that inside you or on you somewhere?
Spirit Swordsman, thank you for the 33 months. I appreciate it.
From
Blah,
Super
blah.
Chat, I think you need to slow down. This bitch can't keep up.
She's so stupid, guys. She's so
Let's
dumb.
move on. If a woman can profile me based on how tall I am, how come I can't profile her based on how much she weighs? Isn't that a double standard? Can we talk about something else? Avoiding the hard questions. How convenient, wench. Women shouldn't
Typical
profile
female.
men based on how tall they are, and men shouldn't profile women based on how much they weigh. Okay, but they do. Why? Biologically speaking, height of men can be an indicator that he's a potential competitor in terms of resources, dominance, and mating success, which can potentially lead to increased competition and social dynamics. Obesity
This is incorrect. He would have interrupted her already.
in women can negatively impact fertility, so it's entirely possible that the profiling you're talking about is nothing more than biological urges to find a suitable mate to reproduce. In a social context, a man is much more than his height, and a woman is much more than her weight. And in a personal context, I would say the only opinion that matters is your opinion of yourself. Yo, I think this chick is a dude. No.
It's always a dude. If a woman ever says an opinion you agree with, it's a man behind the screen. Dead ass, dead ass.
No, I'm not. I'm just not a f***ing idiot. But you're forming coherent sentences, and that makes me believe you're a human with a brain. Only men are capable of that. No, anybody is capable of that, just not the surface dwellers you have on your show. Your whole thing is packaged as a status quo between men and women with the goal of riling up young men to be on your side and the goal of getting young women to get pissed off at you, which leads to one, more comments and interactions on your video, which is good, and two, ultimately for them to come on your show as a guest, you know, because they're so aggravated that they just want to get you. But the reality is, unless you make it very clear that what you're doing is strictly entertainment, then you're actually pushing out a negative messages, because as a man, as a man, you probably watch shit like this and think, oh, this generation is cooked. And I have to go to Eastern Europe to find a genuine woman who's not a complete moron. That's not the case. They exist. Well, if they exist, then why am I throwing a pink shirt on my head and playing the role of one? Why didn't we have one on the show? I said they exist. I didn't say we could ever get one. The reality is, a lot of stuff you see on social media makes the world look a lot worse than it actually is. People watch your show and they think the young generation is so fucking dumb because they watch stuff like this and they think it's real. It's not. It's entertainment. There's a reason you only have OnlyFans people on your show and not women who actually contribute to society. Because if you had a genuine conversation with a woman who could form coherent thoughts, the video would be boring as Your show tries to portray that women are soulless, bottom-feeding, superficial idiots, but in reality,
he's still going.
It's only most of them. Us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only most of them. Only most women are stupid and worthless. Yeah, true and real. No, but it is really depressing to think about the way that it is a profitable business. It's a profitable business fucking organization to make people really, really mad and hate each other. Especially when it has actual effects on people and their perception of other people. The way that these fucking podcasts do, man. Lucy is stupid, but we love her anyway. You do? Even though I'm stupid? See? Men are nice. They'll love you even if you're dumb. In fact, some of them will love you more if you're dumb. I experience that every single day. Men really do have heart and feelings, and I see it constantly. I love my chatties. I love the male chatties because they like me, even when nothing I say makes sense, even when I'm dumb as fuck. As long as I have titties, they still love me. And you don't realize how truly precious that is until you have it. Also, somebody made, what's a proxy card? But somebody made these. Oh my god, they're so cute though. Chatty, look, that picture of me holding a gun. You're gonna die. You will pass away. You will perish. Demonic diva, many such cases. Always has been. Lucy is just a cringy goober. Yeah, I'm just a cringy goober. So true. Very real. You love my personality and voice? Yeah, they love my personalities. 90s localization be like. What the fuck is this?
Help Marshmallow Man save Funnelland from Mr. Meanie.
True?
Mr. Marsh is a bad dude with a bad attitude. Mr. Marsh is a skateboarding electrician from New Jersey. One day while working on a power line, he got sucked into the bodacious land of Psychoville, run by his crazy uncle, Dr. Cruelty. Are you rad enough to collect wicked power-ups and save the bodacious Princess Babula?
I don't know, it's kind of based. It's kind of based, right? I mean, sometimes it's kind of based. Sometimes it's kind of funny, you know? Sometimes jokes in Japanese don't translate well at all to English, and so I like it when if the original has a joke that makes 0 sense in English, they just turn it into like a more English type of joke, okay? There's one game I'm thinking of, Rune Factory 4, and it's not even in the dialogue, it's deadass just in the item descriptions. There's a lot of funny shit in those item descriptions. Base game. Lots of flavored text where you can really see the love that was put into localizing it. Emerald, thank you for the 26 months.
Personally,
I appreciate
I
it.
hate jokes.
Blah,
they
blah,
should
blah.
remove all of them during localization.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Right, if you can't translate it one for one, just like leave it out. That'll be better. Yeah, it'll be way better when they just like, yeah, just get rid of everything. Bye. Okay, why it sucks to be attacked by these animals. I assume it sucks because you die, but maybe there's actually a really deep reason to why it sucks.
Let's kick things off with the Komodo dragon. These oversized lizards can grow up to a massive 10 feet long and weigh over 300 pounds, with strong limbs, serrated teeth, and venomous bites that make them efficient hunters. So if you ever find yourself staring one down, you'll need to know exactly what to do. Step 1, say hi. Just kidding. Whatever you do, keep your distance. Tempting as it might be to take a closer look at these impressive creatures, getting too near is a terrible idea. Komodo dragons don't appreciate visitors in their space, and just so you know, they have an incredible sense of smell, like bloodhounds when it comes to the scent of blood. So if you're a woman on your period, this is your cue to start writing your will. But if you're not on your period, you still have a chance. Move slowly and calmly, and avoid loud noises that might get their attention.
Oh, they're autistic. They don't like loud noises. Me too.
The dragon's about to attack, so plan's changing. Run like your life depends on it, and it does. But make sure to zigzag.
I don't think we're gonna make it, though.
Quick, reaching speeds of up to 21 kilometers per hour, but they struggle with sharp turns. A straight line sprint makes you an easy target, but zigzagging will make it much harder for the dragon to keep up. And keep in mind that they can run fast, but not for long. They'll get tired quickly. Finding somewhere safe to hide is a great idea, but choose your spot wisely. If there's a wooden house on stilts or any elevated structure, climb it fast, as dragons struggle with stairs. Avoid trees, though. Young Komodo dragons are expert climbers. Oh no. Hate to tell you this, but a Komodo dragon's bite is venomous. It prevents your blood from clotting, so you'll keep bleeding and you're gonna get weaker by the minute. Running away might not work, as the dragon could stalk you until the venom takes effect. The only option is to fight back. Grab anything, a stick, rock, whatever's nearby, and aim for the sensitive spots: eyes, nostrils, and inside the mouth. A well-placed hit might make the dragon release you. After defending yourself, seek medical attention immediately. The venom causes severe bleeding, shock, and nasty infections. Don't waste a second. Get to safety and call for help. The other dragons picked up the scent of blood. So, yeah, seems like you got a few more fights coming your way. Typically, Komodo dragons don't see humans as a meal. Most attacks occur when they feel threatened, provoke, or catch a whiff of blood.
I'm sorry.
Next on our list, the lion. First things first, understand what you're dealing with. Lions are absolute powerhouses, weighing between 120 to 190 kilograms, and reaching top speeds of 80 kilometers per hour. Outrunning one isn't an option.
Guys, can somebody convert that to freedom units, please?
They live in prides, meaning if you spot one, there's a good chance it has friends nearby. Most of the hunting's done by females, so there's often more than one to watch out for. Panicking's a bad move. It makes you look like prey and triggers the chase instinct. Instead,
yeah, don't panic, except you're in a life or death situation, which is literally exactly when it is most sensible to be panicked. But yeah, just don't be panicked, because then you'll look like prey.
Stop, take a breath, and assess the situation. Pay attention to the lion's body language. If it's relaxed,
just be a
it's
psychopath. Just have no emotions.
But if it starts pacing or staring intently, it seems you're down to just one option: making sure you don't seem like easy prey by making yourself look massive. And sure, you might regret skipping those gym days, but there's a simple trick. Stand tall, raise your arms, and spread out your jacket to double your size in an instant. Yell, clap, and make noise. Do whatever it takes to show the lion that
you can make fun of people who are morbidly obese. You can make fun of those people at Walmart who have to be in the scooters. But guess what? The lion won't fuck with them.
You're more trouble than you're worth. Never turn your back on a lion. Always face it, and if you need to create distance, back up slowly. Lions are known for mock charging, sprinting straight at you to test your nerve.
You can experience this with a cat as well. It's very fun. If you turn away from them, they will come at you. Like, if they're in play mode and they want to, like, go at you, if you turn away, they'll do it. But if you stare them down and walk away from them, they won't ever get their chance. They'll never get their chance.
It's a test of your guts, and running only serves as an invitation for a real attack. And if the lion attacks,
it's cute. I guess it's less cute when it's like a lion and you're in the wild in the Sahara.
Back and do it aggressively. Aim for the face, eyes, and muzzle. These are its weak spots. Grab whatever you can: sticks, backpacks, hairdryer,
How many
anything
new
to
items
show
is
the
he gonna
lion
come up
you're
with?
not going down without a fight. A fierce defense might be enough to make it retreat. Now let's move on to our next predator, the shark. Rule number 1 for surviving a shark attack:
Psychedelic,
avoid
thank you for the
getting
10
into
months,
one.
blah blah.
Sharks love hanging around harbor entrances, deep waters, and those drop-off spots where the sea suddenly gets deeper. They're also most active at night, dawn, and dusk when visibility is low. So if you're out swimming or diving, stick to shallow waters, avoid murky spots, and steer clear of high-risk times. But let's say you were foolish enough to head into those areas and by some stroke of luck you spot a shark nearby. Whatever you do, do not panic. Splashing around like a fish out of water basically sends an invite for the shark to come check you out. Instead, stay calm, try to be still, and make your movements slow and smooth. If the shark's just circling and not coming in hot, you might just get lucky and it'll swim off. Oh no, it seems like you just sent out a dinner invitation. Sharks are scent super detectors, and fluids like urine or blood can draw them in from miles away.
Dude, I never knew it. Do you guys think Gargura's like into piss?
The shark approaches but isn't biting yet, keep eye contact. Sharks like to attack from behind, so staring it down could shake its confidence. Slowly backing away towards the shore or your boat without turning your back on it. And remember, no splashing. If you can, try to find a solid structure like a reef or rock to position yourself against. This stops the shark
I'm sure
from
there
doing
will be
those
conveniently
full,
one
sneaky
nearby,
circles around
yes.
you. But if your bad luck catches up with you and the shark decides it wants to get closer, it's go time. Defend yourself with everything you've got. Punch, kick, hit, tickle, whatever it takes. Focus your attacks on the eyes, gills, and nose.
Oh, it'd be so cute if tickling actually worked. Like, if it's shark trying to get you, you're just like, oh, yeah, you swim away.
The shark's nose is loaded with sensory organs, so a solid hit there can send it packing.
So cute.
And don't let your guard down just because the shark swims away. These creatures like to test the waters, so it might swim off, circle back, and come in for another pass. Sharks often make several passes before they decide if you're worth the effort, so even if it seems to lose interest, don't assume you're in the clear. Stay alert, keep eyes on the shark, and back away to safety until you're fully out of the water. Now let's talk about the tiger. If you see a tiger before it sees you, your top priority.
Do you think there's ever been a guy who was out in the ocean and he got attacked by a shark and then like he got away from the one shark, but then there was another shark who like smelled the blood and they were just like, ah, yeah, and then he just like finished him off?
Priorities to go into stealth mode. Any sudden noise or movements like ringing a dinner bell. Even if the tiger looks hurt or on the older side,
yeah, it happened to me. Yeah,
I
hope you're alive now.
They're still fully capable of doing serious damage. Staying silent and still gives you that precious moment to figure out your next move before the tiger locks eyes.
I like tigers.
Oh, I guess you've messed up. Never mind, now just try to stay calm. Easier said than done, but it's crucial. Do not make direct eye contact. A staring contest with a tiger is a lose-lose. It might see this as a challenge or aggression. Instead, slowly back away while facing the tiger. Keep it smooth and steady, no turning your back. If you're lucky and the tiger loses interest, keep creating distance until you're completely out of its territory. Never crouch, sit, or make yourself look small. Tigers hunt by ambush, and if you make yourself look weak or submissive, you're practically asking for an attack.
So you're telling me that, like, tigers are tops.
Stay tall, look big, and keep your confidence up.
Thank you for the
Your size and stance could be the difference between life and death. I know you're scared, but try not to pee your pants. Literally. Tigers have an incredible sense of smell.
Why can they all smell piss?
Basically the equivalent of saying, come at me, bro.
They're all
and
piss
that's
drinkers.
Not a conversation you want to have with a tiger. Even if the tiger charges, remember that it could be a warning charge to scare you off. Don't run. Tigers can hit speeds of 64 kilometers per hour, so you're not going to win that race. Stand firm, hold your ground, and use whatever you've got. Tigers are immensely powerful, but if they think you're more trouble than you're worth, they might decide to walk away. And if you're looking for an escape route, climbing's your best bet, but only if it's a tall, sturdy tree or structure. Unlike some big cats, tigers aren't great climbers, but they might give it a shot. So make sure you get high enough to be out of reach, and stay put until the coast is clear or help arrives. And whatever you do, don't jump into water.
I saw your pizza. It was a mistake.
Unlike most big cats, tigers are excellent swimmers. You're just trading one danger for another.
Jesus Christ, what can't tigers do? Tigers are unfair. Tigers are unfair creatures. They also have this video, and I liked the thumbnail, so why it sucks to be born as a horse. Probably because your horse.
Just a quick drop to the ground, and here you
Disgusting.
are, born smack dab in the middle of a wide open field in the American West. Mom gives you a few licks, then nudges you to get those wobbly spaghetti legs working, and a warm hug for the ground. A couple more face plants, and soon enough you're wobbling around upright, looking like a person trying on heels for the first time. You wobble over and grab your first sip from the unlimited milk tap conveniently located under Mom. Not exactly Starbucks, but it'll do. Barely had a taste when the herd decides it's time to move, and Mom's off, so you follow her wobbly pace. This is your herd,
At least
about
you get
8
to stay
mares,
with her.
or maybe 9. And that
Tristan,
old guy
welcome.
over there, that's the stallion, the leader and protector of the group.
Hi, Dad!
And he's also your dad. By the way, you're not the only newbie here. There are foals everywhere, all looking like tiny, shaky adults just learning to keep their legs in check. You all start sniffing each other's noses and bumping heads in what could pass as a full version of a handshake. By the time you're 4 months old, you're starting to get pretty tired of milk, so you start giving grass a try like
You get to stay with them for 4 months? Now, this is truly a luxury in the animal
the
kingdom.
adults. That first bite isn't exactly a breeze, but just as you're wondering if you'll ever get the hang of it, a weird, sharp smell wafts in. You flick an ear,
What the
glance
fuck?
up, and... Oh, hi, Mr. Wolf.
Oh.
Before you can even think about turning tail, the stallion's already in front of you, snorting and stamping like a full-blown alarm.
Dad! Why do horses get to have more of a father figure in their life than I did?
System on 4 legs. The wolf pauses, sizing him up, clearly realizing that dealing with an angry stallion and a whole herd of horses is not on his to-do list. After a few seconds of maybe, maybe not, he slinks back into the bushes like a ghost. Well, didn't
That's so
expect that to be so
strong.
easy. Alright, back to figuring out how to chew this green stuff. Days go by and you start picking up on the herd's schedule. Mornings mean munching grass, afternoons are for lazing around. Every now and then, you all watch as the stallion squares off with some pushy newcomers trying to take over the
The existence of a horse sounds peaceful,
whole
actually.
group. Life goes on like this until one chilly morning, something's different. A sharp bite in the wind, an earthy scent you haven't smelled before. The adults start moving, herding together with a sense of urgency. Winter's on its way, and the world's about to change. The grass turns dry.
This is making me realize how little I know about horses because I only know horses in the sense of them being like domesticated. I don't know how they live in the wild.
And brittle, waterholes shrink to puddles, and your carefree days are swapped out for long treks, searching for anything green and drinkable. Survival isn't just about how fast you can run. It's about knowing the right place at the right time. Your little body's changing, too. That soft fur you started with is growing tougher, thicker, and warmer. A cozy layer from nature to help you brace for the cold season. Or, let's be real, just to make things a bit less miserable, since this fur isn't exactly winter armor. The herds huddle close, pulling you and the other foals into the center to shield you from the biting chill whenever the wind picks up. Now it's better. You watch the older horses, hooves scraping through the snow to uncover the scraggly grass underneath. You give it a shot, pawing with your little hooves, and a bit of grass for the taking. It's not much, but it'll do.
It's
2
honest
years
work.
later, and you've officially entered your juvenile phase. But being grown up isn't quite what you expected. Life's starting to feel like a never-ending parade of kicks and shoves from the stallion. He's had just about enough of you and your buddies, too. As the only adult male in the herd, he's not thrilled about having a bunch of young colts coming of age around him. So you've got 2 choices. Take him on for control or hit the road. Alright, make your move. Good choice. Sometimes keeping all your limbs in one piece is the smartest option. You might as well say goodbye to your friend on the way out. Oh, never mind. He's already trailing along, kicking out just like you. Meanwhile, the young mares get to stay with the herd. Now it's just the 2 of you, trekking through the mountains and settling into your new bachelor lifestyle. Days are spent searching for food, facing off with wolves, and sometimes making a swift retreat. Then, one day, you stumble upon a herd of 5 other young stallions. Great, new friends. You join up and form a bachelor gang, and suddenly life's looking a lot more interesting.
Oh my
you
God.
all roam together, hunting for food, and
It's a
every so
polycule.
often, fights break out within the group. Watching these scraps becomes the highlight of your
Bro,
day
it's
as
fucking
you
Horse
sit back,
Fight Club.
learning a few fighting moves, and keep yourself out of
Hey,
the
Elizabeth,
fray.
welcome, thank you.
Until you're big enough to take your fair share of knocks. This bachelor herd has a pecking order, and it's based on strength. To climb up, you have to challenge the horse above you, then the next, until you reach the
Damn, it
top.
really is.
And that only happens after a lot of rough and bloody fights. Okay, let's advance the story a little, and you've finally become the strongest in the group. What's the next step?
Okay, I'm a
Finding a
Chad
herd
now.
of mares and taking it over. Amazing.
Wait, how am I gonna
You're
find
about
that?
to leave the bachelor life behind. You and your gang set off, and soon enough you cross paths with a pack of wolves. But they don't seem interested in you. They're actually targeting a herd with only one male. It's much easier to take on a single stallion than a whole bachelor gang. Makes sense.
Are female horses weak? Female horses, are they significantly weaker than the stallion? I didn't know this. Savi! Hello, Savi! Savi owes us feet pics. What? Savi, what the hell did you do? Welcome in, Savi Raiders. My name is Lucy Pyre, and the streamer you were just watching, Savi, is very cute. I am reacting today in a short stream. You're here just in time to see, I don't know, another 50 minutes of Lucy Pyre content. I'm learning about why it sucks to be a horse. Welcome to the story.
You nod politely to each other and keep moving. Wait a minute. You're both after the same thing, herd of mares. Things just got interesting. You keep trekking over hills and endless plains. Oh, look there, a herd of mares, right for the taking. Their stallion doesn't exactly look like he's in fighting shape, and your buddies are hyping you up. They know you're the strongest in the group, and they're ready to see you claim your prize.
This is so wholesome, actually.
They're practically breaking out the popcorn as you warm up for the showdown. The stallion catches sight of you and knows what's up. Game on. In minutes, the duel kicks off. You're throwing hoof strikes and, when necessary, going in with teeth. Oh.
Dude, I really want to, like, look up a horse fight now. Like, I want to see horses fucking fight each other. I don't know if that's fucked up of me or not, but, like, I really want to see it. Salvi, thank you so much for the 17 months, by the way. And Punish Neck, thank you for the 1 year. Annie.
Right. He's got teeth, too. Ow. That stings.
Is horse blood
the fight
TOS?
drags on
I guess
until
it
you've
is.
had enough. Usually about 5 minutes of back and forth. Nice
Damn!
try. Your crew are sizing up the other stallion's strength based on how you're holding up. Since you're the strongest of the bunch, they know their chances are slim if you're struggling. You head back to the group, covered in bruises and scratches. Close one, apparently. After a bit of recovery, you go after another stallion you find on the way. And, yep, round 2 of bruises. Turns out claiming a herd isn't
Why did he force me to be the weakest fucking horse? Why am I the weakest horse? Oh my god. What the hell? Fresh Tacos, thank you for the half year, Annie. Yuhi Matsui, thank you for the half year, Annie. Wait, let's go. Yeah, I got it right. I'm not done.
Sounds. It's a game of attempts and
literally
setbacks.
a beta horse,
You
yeah.
remember watching your old leader go through this until he finally won a herd. So each scar from these battles just toughens you up, makes you sharper. Winter's here and the landscape shifts. Food becomes scarce, your fur thickens, and thoughts of sparring with other stallions takes a back seat to survival. You and your crew wander for miles, scouring for anything edible and drinkable. When the biting cold hits, you find shelter near cliffs, huddling up to stay warm. This goes on until spring finally returns. The heavy winter coat starts to shed, and your herd mates return to their sparring routines.
I don't like the way they animated that. That disgusts
As for
me.
you, it's back to the hunt for a stallion with some lovely mares to win over. By age 5, you finally succeed, defeating a stallion and claiming his...
So basically, being a male horse is trying desperately to cuck another male horse for the rest of your life. Or, if you already have wives, then you're trying not to get cucked.
Mares and their young for yourself. Nice. Now you're the new stallion. Your old group breaks up, with the strongest taking the lead in your place. Welcome to your new life, with all new challenges. Now you're the one fending off wolves. Having all these mares doesn't come without a cost. You raise your hooves and fend off wolves one by one, thanks to all the skills you honed in past fights. They finally back off, giving you a moment's peace before you guide the herd to a safe spot with enough grass. This new life as lead stallion isn't quite the glamorous gig you imagined. Protecting, finding food, guiding, and fighting. Lots of fighting. Now your opponents range from wolves and mountain lions to ambitious young stallions who want your spot. Your mares mostly keep to their roles, giving
Never mind,
birth,
I get
caring
it
for
now.
the young,
I understand
and
why it
watching you
sucks.
throw down in fights. At this age, you're at peak strength, nearly unbeatable, and if you get injured, the mares look after you. So lucky.
Mods, why the fuck did Emerald just say, just tell us about the horse sex like we all want? I haven't even said a single fucking thing about horse sex. That's all you. Do not project your own sick desires onto other people in my chat. Thank you.
Winter rolls around again, bringing fresh challenges, long treks, and gnawing hunger. You lead your herd to the spots you think might still hold food and water, relying on the wisdom you've built over the years. At least in winter you get a break from those young stallions, though there's the occasional wolf that still needs a reminder of who's boss. You've got this routine down by now. By age 12, you've fought more battles than you can count and roamed these plains so often you know every inch. You're starting to feel it though. Your muscles ache and you're slowing down. But no one cares, you've still got to fight. This might be your last showdown. A young stallion stands before you, brimming with energy and ambition, his gang cheering him on. No sweat, you've got the... Oh, well, that was quick. Just like that, you're defeated. The mares are
You are destined to become a cuck if you're born a male horse in the wild.
gone without so much as a goodbye. How's that for gratitude? Now, for the first time, you're truly alone, wandering the same plains you once ruled with your herd. After years of protecting them, you're left hoping you can protect yourself. Winter's here. This time, I'm not so sure your body can take the biting cold, but let's find out. You push forward alone through the freezing winds, scaling mountains in search of anything green. You've got a bit of fat stored from the last seasons. Hopefully it'll keep you going. You keep moving until you find the side of a rocky cliff and settle down beneath it for shelter. Remember when you used to huddle here with the herd, all packed tight to stay warm? Now it's just you.
It's
no
so
one to lean on.
depressing.
Think they even remember you? Oh, look over there. There's that old wolf you've taught a lesson to so many times. Looks like he might be back for a little revenge. And he's brought friends. What a way to go. Dinner for a bunch of mangy wolves.
What the fuck? Life is only good as a humps when you're young. When you're little. When you're just like with the fam and you're eating grass and shit. That's the only time that it's fun. That's the only time when it's good. God damn, bro. This guy has I think a series of these types of videos, so I'm gonna leave it open for now because we might watch more. What happened to Vevo? Dude, I didn't remember Vevo was a thing until I saw somebody submit this video title, and I was just like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, what did happen to Vevo? Does anybody remember that shit? Vevo was some type of music company thing, and I don't even really know what they did.
It seems like just yesterday, every single musician had Vevo in their YouTube channel name,
right,
Vevo in the bottom left of their videos, and there were even YouTubers putting Vevo on their diss tracks because it made them look more official. But this has left people with a few questions like, what even is Vevo? Why was their name on every single YouTube video? And whatever happened to it? Well, it turns out that Vevo was a big scheme cooked up by the music industry that eventually failed. So to understand that, we gotta go back to Vevo's inception. Vevo was created back in 2008, when the music industry was recovering from quite a few problems. See, back in the day, music videos used to be aired on TV, on platforms like MTV, NBC, and more. This way, the producers and artists could get money directly from the networks and their advertisers. But then the internet came in and disrupted everything.
No, I need y'all to see that. Hold on.
Networks and their advertisers.
He's got his fucking hand on, like... Wait, that's a girl... Guys, lesbian sex is happening on my MTV.
But then the internet came in and disrupted everything. CDs and records were being replaced by illegal
That's a reflection, boss. I choose to believe. I reject your reality and I place it with my own.
Services like Napster and LimeWire, because why would you buy something when you can just get it for free? So as you may know, this made the music industry very,
gay mirrors.
not very profitable.
Chatty, did you know that if you kiss yourself in the mirror, you're gay?
Things like Spotify and iTunes were just coming out, so the industry hadn't really figured out how to make money. That's why they came together and created Vevo. Universal Music Group and Sony Music Entertainment both got together in an evil corporate fashion and created Video
As they usually
Evolution,
do,
or
as they are
Vevo
wont
for
to
short.
do.
If those names sound familiar, that's because UMG and Sony are two of the big three record labels, which means that these three labels own pretty much every other smaller label. They thought that by creating Vevo, they could find a way to monetize music videos, and they did.
What we're trying to do is quite simple, which is to provide a high quality, premium music and video experience to as many people as possible in as many places as possible. On any television, on any computer, on any phone, on any connected digital platform, we want to provide the highest quality, premium music and video experience. So we do that today with our partner YouTube. So about 70% of music videos worldwide are consumed and discovered.
What I like about this is the original video probably didn't look like this, but the editor was like, I need to make this look older than it currently looks, so I'm gonna put like these lines, this TV line effect onto the footage.
Discovered and viewed through YouTube. So what Vevo does is provide that experience inside of YouTube with the world's largest music companies.
The issue though was that YouTube was only monetizing like 3% of their videos at the time, while platforms like Hulu had ads on.
It's actually insane how YouTube as a platform has changed, because it used to be like every YouTuber who had 1 million subs, you knew them. Nowadays, there's a lot of YouTubers with 1 million subs, and like knowing, oh yeah, that guy, you know this guy has 1 million subs. No, I don't. There's a lot of people like that.
All of their stuff. But YouTube had been working with these record labels and wanted to keep music videos on their platform because that was one of their biggest sources of views. So YouTube and Vevo came to an agreement. Universal and eventually some of the other labels I mentioned would put their music videos on YouTube and Vevo would distribute them. Google hosted them on YouTube and Vevo's website as well. Vevo was also in charge of selling ads to advertisers.
I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted.
Most ads on YouTube videos, like the one you're watching right now, are sold programmatically, where advertisers bid on a certain type of customer demographic, like specifically targeting which country they are from or what age group they belong to.
I feel like I'm learning forbidden knowledge that I shouldn't know.
This is very common, I'm sure most of you understand that, but Vevo instead would sell specific slots to advertisers, which makes a bit.
As a consumer, it's like not great to hear that people are bidding on demographic information about you and paying to feed you ads.
Bit more sense because you can imagine that appearing in front of a Drake video is likely going to get you more attention than throwing your ad on a Matty Balls video, for example. It's kind of like how advertisers kill to be in the Super Bowl. I'm sure they've had quite a few bidding wars over Taylor Swift's music videos. Not because they're good, but because she gets a lot of views. Also on long videos like interviews and things like that, they can sell slots for ads during the video as well. This way Vevo is able to make quite a bit more money from YouTube ads than your everyday user.
We're all consumers. In fact, everybody can be a consumer. Everyone is a consumer, but not all of us can be creators, or at least not all of us even want to be creators of a thing, of a product. Not everybody wants to have their own business and make a thing to sell it to people. Not everybody wants that, but everybody is a consumer. So if something is happening to a consumer, it is happening to you, and you should care about it if you don't like it. Anyway.
During the video as well. This way Vevo is able to make quite a bit more money from YouTube ads than your everyday YouTuber. So with all of that sorted out, Vevo got like $300 million in investment money, and they were preparing to launch. They acquired some other labels as distribution partners, furthering the
You made her hair turn white? Yeah.
music video monopoly, and then they were ready to launch. Vevo launched on December 8th of 2009.
So what did they do?
30,000 videos on their website from huge artists like Eminem, Lil Wayne, Michael Jackson, Lady Gaga, Kesha, Miley Cyrus, and many more. The website actually crashed on launch, and in the first month got over 35 million
a website?
views. Apparently, they had already surpassed other websites like AOL Music, MySpace Music, and
not all of us can be creators. You're gonna get mad at me because I misspoke what I was trying to say? You can become a creator right now. Literally. You create anything, then you're automatically a creator. The fucking bar is in hell. But not everyone wants to do that. And most of all, I fucking don't know. I am certainly not fucking giving ads based on demographic information about you that I bid money on to feed you the ads, okay? God damn it!
MTV, Warner Music, and more. I was 7 when all of this was going down, so hearing about MySpace Music is new to me and pretty interesting. Regardless, Vevo was going crazy,
that was a thing.
Launching in different markets internationally like European countries, Mexico, and more. They even got the other big 3 record label, Warner, to sign with them as a content distribution partner. And they were also distributing videos on MTV.com, which was a whole lot cooler back then. At this time, Vevo was getting most of its views, 80% to be exact.
Man, there's like a secret career out there that's literally just like scam and lie and just deceive and delude people. Like that's dead as a career. Like Vevo's just like, what if we were just like a middleman and then we took people's money but we didn't actually provide a service, but we convinced them that we were?
From YouTube. Because
this is
Vevo
a career.
Was a conglomerate
Imagine
of
how much they
every
made.
Big record label and small one, and they distributed these videos to YouTube. That's why every artist had their own Vevo page, like Eminem Vevo or Rihanna Vevo. That's also why pretty much every music video in the early 2010s and even up until this day have Vevo in the bottom left corner.
That's a terrible picture of
right,
Eminem.
I can't remember. But that still leaves us with one question. What happened to Vevo, and why did I say they failed earlier? Well, they had a problem. Vevo wasn't making that much money as an actual company. Most of the money was going to YouTube and then to the record labels, leaving Vevo to pick up the scraps. Apparently, Vevo was also very expensive to run because of everything I mentioned. So pretty early on into the company's life, they tried to find a buyer for $1 billion, which didn't really work out. So Vevo had to come up with some other ways to make money. First, they started making other types of content on YouTube and their own website, like interviews, live stream concerts, and things along those lines, although that content was never super successful. Then they
No shit, because people are just listening to music, and like, they don't think Vevo does anything. Like, they're listening to Taylor Swift, they're not listening to, oh, Vevo released a song from one of their artists, Taylor Swift.
Released an app to watch music videos on your phone, and when it first launched, it was actually very successful. By early 2011, they were bigger than Facebook and right behind YouTube for video viewed content. By the end of 2011, Vevo was getting over 3.7 billion views a month. They had over 13 million downloads of their app, and they had made over
150 billion illegal downloads of their videos from YouTube onto our PCs to listen to the music without ads.
150 bucks. And they had made over $150 million in revenue. But like I said, most of this money was going to YouTube and the labels, not to Vevo. And because they didn't want to rely so much on YouTube, they tried to diversify. They created something called Vevo TV that was supposed to be like Hulu, and they were also on apps like Roku, Apple TV, and more. It's likely that they were eventually plotting to become something like Hulu for music videos, where they wanted people to pay a monthly subscription to watch these music videos.
And so we think there's that one of the important things, and you hear this throughout the industry.
It was the first YouTube Premium.
A more premium product, that's something we're very interested in and very much, working towards.
That's a subscription service, or does the whole thing go behind a paywall? Do I have to pay to watch Katy
No,
Perry?
we believe in a dual revenue stream.
This was a rumor for a while, but after consumers have had music videos for free for so long, it's very unlikely that would have ever happened. Regardless, for a while, like I just said, their diversification was working, but it didn't last long, because in 2018, everything came crashing down for Vevo. Vevo had a few controversies that really hurt the company, and I'm not talking about the time some executives were ironically caught watching pirated content, or when they were trying to work with Facebook
because they know it's a better product
to get people's info for targeted videos. The main issue they had was in 2018 when they found themselves in the crosshairs of some hackers from the group Rmine. First, the hackers got into Vevo's servers and released 3 terabytes of their documents and videos. Then they got hacked again. This time, 2 hackers named Karoy SH and ProSox got into Vevo's YouTube channel. When they got in, they deleted Despacito, which was the most viewed Vevo video on YouTube, and they also renamed a ton of the videos as well, changed some thumbnails, and apparently this was some sort of pro-Palestine protest. I'm not sure how much these hacks really affected Vevo, but it seems like everything started crumbling after this happened. The CEO stepped down, a bunch of important executives left, and they had to lay off dozens of employees. At the same time, Vevo was really struggling to compete with YouTube. It seemed like them putting their content on other websites or making
I still don't understand how Vevo is an individual thing.
Their own website.
It feels like they tried so hard to be and just weren't.
From YouTube, so that way they didn't have to pay all of their revenue to YouTube. But that clearly didn't work, as YouTube is still the #1 site when it comes to watching music videos. Plus, the same year, YouTube just launched YouTube Music, so Vevo never became the Hulu or the Netflix of music videos. Instead, Vevo decided to wave the white flag. Vevo decided to shut
I don't even think YouTube Music works. Most people just use Spotify.
Down all of their other operations and just merge with YouTube to become a regular distributor. YouTube merged the Vevo accounts with the artist's official accounts to consolidate everything. So if you were subscribed to a Vevo account, your subscription would be switched over to the official artist account. YouTube said, Vevo's reach and business can continue to grow on YouTube as a direct result of simplifying the user experience through consolidation of an
Oh my god, I remember like being able to tell who was the actual like original artist's YouTube channel based on whether it had Vevo in the username.
Entire artist catalog into one channel, where Vevo videos are featured prominently. So basically like Agario, YouTube just ate up Vevo. This is probably why it feels like you don't see the Vevo branding as much. I mean, we're all probably used to seeing the Vevo logo in videos, so we don't notice it very often, but it is still there. It's just that the channels don't have Vevo in their name anymore. And Vevo is still pretty successful after the merge with YouTube, as they have over
So nothing happened happened?
500,000 music videos that get over 26 billion views a month, you can still go to Vevo's website and check out their content and their artists, but it always redirects you to YouTube. They also still host their videos on Pluto TV and Roku, but let's be honest, no one's going there to watch music videos. Like Medium.com said, without assassinating YouTube, there really wasn't enough room for
Imagine thinking you can legitimately assassinate YouTube.
both of them to coexist. The consumer isn't ever going to go to
The
a second
arrogance.
location for the same product they can get at the first. So just because it looks like
Yeah, guys, we could have done it, but like it would have been assassinating YouTube, and like we didn't want to do that to the internet. So
they aren't there, Vevo is still there operating in the shadows. However, their plans to take over the internet as the go-to music video service failed. Like Jordan Fraser said, Vevo isn't dead, it has regressed to the bottom of the video screen. It exists today as branding and
always
continues to see
there,
on most
always
music
has
videos.
been.
It also exists as a reminder that the entire music industry is run by only a few people in expensive suits. If you like this
Many such cases for many such industries.
video, you may like my
Damn. I feel like I learned everything and nothing at the same time from that one. How a criminal became the Drift King. What the fuck is this, by the way?
Looking around YouTube today, you'd think that the practice of drifting is as old as racing cars itself. But the sport of delicate balance.
How many of you have committed illegal activities in vehicles? I am not a cop, you can answer honestly. Fragile anxiety, welcome. 1 if you've drifted, 2 if you've never drifted. About to find out.
In complete anarchy. Of smoke, shredded tires, and dented fenders hasn't always been around. It's a
That's more ones than I thought, honestly.
relatively new, in fact. Drifting is dancing with horsepower, battling with fenders, and singing with
Does it feel
exhaust
good,
notes
you
and
think?
tire smoke. It's driving, but a little bit over dramatic. You know, sort of like this channel. Despite the art of oversteer invading everything from Pixar to PlayStation, its roots are humble and centered around one man. A man who rose from rebellious teenager street racing in the quiet hours of Japan's winding toge
John Drift, I can't.
to a world-class driver standing atop podiums around the world. Someone who changed the world by turning his wheels in
That's
the
why
other
they call
direction.
it Tokyo Drift!
Took risks others weren't willing to take, and left a legacy that will last for generations to come. This is the story of Keiichi Tsuchiya, the Drift King.
Keiichi Tsuchiya! Drift lore. Yeah, I didn't even know there was a drift lore. There's lore for fucking everything on the planet, it seems. There was Vevo lore, there's horse
The
lore.
story of Keiichi Tsuchiya begins in 1956 in the small village of Tomi. There, Tsuchiya-sama was born. Rumors have it that
Tsuchiya-sama.
he came out of the womb
Yeah, put respect on that
sideways.
name. Ew! What the
town
fuck?
of Tomi was long known for its hot springs, its beautiful landscapes, but most
Beautiful.
importantly, its proximity to winding roads known as toge. In the late 1960s, you might find
Perfect
Datsun
drifting
510s
conditions.
and Honda S600s attacking the nearby curves of Usui Pass late at night, a 7.5-mile narrow mountain road over bridges, hairpins, and sheer cliff edges. Late at night, populated by drivers clamoring to be the fastest on its many winding passes. Their name was Hashiriya, motoring enthusiasts that emerged in
Hashiriya!
the 60s and 70s of Japan, taking their love of driving to the streets, hills, and raceways of Japan's diverse blacktops. Young Keiichi would sit awake at night, listening to the roar of engines echoing through the hills as they battled at night. So inspired was Keiichi that one day he kickstarted his gas-powered bicycle and rode it 120 miles to
His gas-powered bicycle? Wait, that's a thing? There's a gas-powered bicycle? What?
Fuji Speedway, just to see racing up close and in person. On that day,
Hydration?
Tsuchiya-sama would witness a driver pushing themselves and their car to the limit and be inspired to spend his lifetime doing the same. There, at the helm of a Hakusuka GTR, Kunimitsu Takahashi was overtaking his opponents by sliding his car through the corners.
Holy fucking based. He's a master. He's a natural. He was born to do it.
これからもお二人のファミリーカーとして長くご愛用ください。スカイラインのあるところ、ここにも幸せが。
It's an ad!
Today, Keiichi Tsuchiya is well
That's
known
your
for
translation,
bringing the
it's an
sport
ad.
of sliding cars to the masses. But Kunimitsu Takahashi, otherwise known as Kuni-san, was truly the father of drifting. A man whose motorsports career is as impressive
My
in
God,
its
this
wins
guy looks so
as it is in
scary.
its diversity.
And cool.
Kuni-san started out as a motorcycle racer in the late 1950s, rising through the ranks to earn a spot on the Honda Speed Club factory team, where he rode his 250cc Honda over the finish line to become the first Japanese rider to win the West German Motorcycle Grand Prix in 1961.
That's pretty crazy.
A year later, he would attempt the absurdly dangerous Isle of Man TT, a
What is that?
blisteringly fast motorcycle time trial run on public streets that has claimed the
Oh,
lives
Jesus,
of
what?
over 150 riders.
Ow!
There,
Owie, owie,
somewhere
owie, owie.
amongst the 219 turns around the town of
Itai,
Douglas,
itai.
Kuni-san loses control of his Honda 250, and the ensuing
No.
accident nearly takes his life.
No,
While recovering from his
Jesus!
heavy injuries, Kunimitsu is forced to reconsider whether racing on two wheels is even worth it anymore. Luckily, at the time, Nissan had learned of his dominating
People who do things like this, they're adrenaline junkies. You can't tell them it's unsafe. You can't tell them it's unhealthy. They don't care. It doesn't matter to them. It's about the thrill. It's not worth living unless they can feel that fucking pulse of blood.
performance on motorcycles, and offered him a spot on their factory team in 1965. And with that, the leather jacket of rider Kunimitsu was hung on the wall for the rest of time. As a driver for Nissan, he set many lap records in their
Nissan.
prototype race cars,
Another
such
ad.
as the R380, the R381, and the R382. But it would be his outings in the Hakusuka GTR that would not only earn him trophies, but the love of an entire nation of motoring fans. In the early 70s,
I didn't know it was so
Kuni-san
big in
found
Japan.
himself in the cockpit of the Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR. With the spirit of competition burning in his heart, he came to win. But his tires were absolute garbage. And he wasn't alone. Everyone's rubber struggled to keep grip. You see, tire technology in 1970 was
I hate it when my rubber can't keep a grip. That's why I buy Trojan
way
condoms.
behind the power and dynamics of the racing cars they were fitted to. So you couldn't really rely on them to maintain grip as you attacked a turn, or stay in control as you accelerate out of an apex. What this meant was that most drivers would go very slow in and timidly accelerate out of a corner to
Timidly
maintain
accelerate.
traction. Kuni-san, whose bravery had been forged by years of two-wheeled death traps, had a different approach. Instead of meekly feathering the throttle and abiding by the limits of his tires, he would just
Meekly feathering the throttle sounds like a way to describe like jerking off.
press the accelerator firmly, aim at
Hey, tonight I gotta meekly feather my throttle. Shishi Bun, thank you so much and
the
welcome.
corner
Hi.
exit, initiate a four-wheel slide, and just wait for his tires to give him the traction he needed to accelerate out. The result was essentially drifting. A sports car sliding through a turn, tires billowing smoke, and unexpected
birth of the
Japanese motoring
drift.
fans screaming with acclaim. Kuni-san's motoring exploits would go on for
Okay, I have a question because I feel like instinctively this seems like something that it'll hurt the car if you do it. Is this bad for cars? Should you not drift because it'll fuck with your car?
decades. But that might just be a story for another time. Because
Okay,
there
that's
in
what
the
I thought.
1970s, among the onlookers watching with eyes wide open and jaws agape, was a young Keiichi Tsuchiya, who would
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
forever
why
be
that
inspired
picture?
by Kuni-san's outlandish driving style, and who would quickly start saving for a car of his
Cardinal,
own.
thank you for
so
the
that
1 year
he
Annie
too could
Venus.
slide his car through corners, not on a racetrack, but on the dangerous mountain passes of Japan.
Training. Fluffy Cadaver, thank you, welcome. What is this music?
Following
Skyline.
the absolutely massive success of the Hakusuka GTR, Nissan released its KPGC 110 GTR, aka the Kenmari. It is one of the greatest and rarest cars
What a great subtitle. The Camry, the Cannon Mar.
Japan has ever created. And somehow, according to Tsuchiya, it was his first car. Look, I know, everyone everywhere quotes Tsuchiya-sama as starting from some humble beginnings, but driving one of the 197 Kenmari GTRs as his first car triggers the sus in me a little bit.
What?
Other accounts say that his first car was the Nissan Sunny B110. Either way, whatever car Tsuchiya did start in, he didn't dive headfirst into racing. In fact, at first, he refused to compete with others.
You think advertisers would lie?
After seeing how treacherous and tight the Yusui Pass was, he opted instead to drive out to remote farmland and practice his driving technique on the weekends for 4 whole years. 4 years of constant practice. Braking, heel towing, and countersteering until he had a connection with the car that was absolute. After spending what is honestly an
He literally became one with the car.
absurd amount of time practicing, Tsuchiya finally felt it was
What's that
time
one
to
movie
take
where the
on
car has
Yusui
like a
Hashiriya.
personality, a soul?
Keiichi made short work of the mountain racers. They never really stood a chance. When you practice for 4 years at something, forging your skills with fervent dedication, little can stand in your
Knight Rider! Not cars! That's when cars are people. There's no human beings in cars.
way. Keiichi was quickly deemed king of the mountain, and rivals would travel from all over the region to challenge him, only to see his taillights disappearing around the corner ahead of them, never to see them again. He was adored by other Hashiriya for his flamboyant racing style, passing his opponents in curves while sliding sideways.
Bro. It's so sad. Homophobia is so rampant. Even cars can't escape it.
Word of Tsuchiya-sama's abilities soon traveled down the mountains to the world of professional Japanese racing. And in 1977, Keiichi would begin his life's work as a professional racing driver. But the soul of illegal mountain racing would never leave him.
As you already know,
illegal mountain racing.
From the other side of the Pacific to our shores here in the United States. He's a D1 Grand Prix judge.
I love his fucking empty stare. You can't see his eyes because they had to cover the fact that his eyes have no fucking heart, no emotion behind them. He's just staring into nothingness.
Himself, Keiichi Tsuchiya.
Tsuchiya knew the road ahead of him was long and difficult. Just like his successes
When he's
as an
not
outlaw
in a
mountain
car, he's
racer,
not happy.
His career as a pro driver would take a lot of time and dedicated practice. His humble racing debut began in the Fuji Freshman Racing Series, which is sort of a college sports version of touring car racing. You get to act like the professionals, but you're gonna pay for everything yourself. There he would pilot Toyota Starlets and Nissan Sunnies, economical, fun little cars with less than 100 horsepower. Keiichi's dedication to mastering driving skill and not relying on horsepower meant that he quickly racked up wins and garnered the support of sponsors. And even though he was winning, he felt like he was being held back by these low horsepower rookie racing classes. So he went to his sponsors and
He's done with the fucking family van. He doesn't want to ride that shit. It's not cool. Dude, people get into this because of the cool ass looking cars. You don't want to ride the van.
asked for money to buy a new, faster car. They said, sure, win the entire championship and we'll give you a new car. So he did.
He's
and
like,
in
easy.
1984, he stepped out of the
Oyasui
world
goyo
of underpowered,
desu.
unassuming racing cars and into the driver's seat of an all-new, underpowered, unassuming racing car. But this would be a seat he would never leave for the rest of his life.
Hey, what's that, a Toyota? The 1985 Toyota Corolla GTS. A Toyota, dependable. A Corolla, affordable. And yet a different kind of Corolla. A sleeper, a car for the street that's powered.
This is also an ad if anyone needs to translate.
What's he got in there? 16-valve engine. What's he got in there? No, it's the C16. Hey, yeah, what's he got in there?
What's he got in there?
The 1980s were, well, for lack of a better term, weird.
Oh, damn.
In the world of
Whoa, those hits are crazy.
Well, for lack of a better term,
Holy
weird.
fuck.
And the world of 80s Japanese cars was no different. Car companies of the time were abandoning complex rear-wheel drive platforms for simpler, more fuel-efficient front-wheel drive cars. Mitsubishi Mirage, Honda Civics, Toyota Tercels.
That's what a
all
Mitsubishi
a dismal
is.
sign of the slow and depressing death of the sports car. But there among them was one last freedom fighter. A sports car for the masses.
What?
Well, before the Miata came along. The AE.
That's such a cute car. No, you have
sports
to
car
look.
for the
Look.
Well,
Okay, that's not
before
the right car. This car right here. Look at its cute little smile. It's like,
It came along. The AE86 Corolla. For this generation, Toyota went insane. Instead of just one new Corolla, they split the lineup in half. One was just another front-wheel drive economy car, but parked next to it at a dealership would be a near mirror image. But this time, with a rear-wheel drive platform, sportier suspension, and a free-revving, fun-loving 1.6-liter engine, the Hachiroku, a plucky economy car with the heart of a champion. For our hero Keiichi, it was love at first sight. His racing
he fucks that car. I just know
prowess was forged on tight mountain roads. Tsuchiya-sama never cared for high horsepower, turbos, or gimmicks. To win, he believed you needed a vehicle you could trust. One that did what it was told.
See? Dude, he's talking about it like it's a wife. It's like, well, when it comes to a partner, you need someone you can trust, someone who does what they're told, someone that listens to you, someone that obeys. And they're like, yeah, I like me a traditional woman too. He's like, it's my car, bro. It's my fucking car.
To win,
I have
he
sex with
believed
my
you
car.
needed a vehicle you could trust.
Hydration.
One that did what it was told and communicated back to the driver with solid inputs and delicate
Literally,
handling.
that is his wife.
Tsuchiya's competition AE86 went by many names.
Hana base.
Carrot Flashpoint, Karada, whatever you
That's
called
a
it, you
sick
saw
core.
across the finish line first. Though underpowered and unassuming, Keiichi and his Carrot AE86 dominated the Fuji
It's a
Freshman
grower,
Series for
not a
6
shower.
championships, leaving more powerful and advanced cars in its dust. So what do you do when you're dominating the competition and no one can beat you? You have a little fun with it.
Aww. Damn!
Like his hero Kuni-san, Keiichi kept himself entertained on course by sliding through corners, passing his opponents while graciously countersteering. It was probably really fun to watch, but must have driven the other competitors nuts. Tsuchiya-sama's performance in the Advent 8.6 was so dominant,
He
the
fucking
Nismo team
triggered
had him
them. Superiority and success will always trigger hatred.
investigated for cheating. I mean, how else can you explain that this puny little
He's
hatchback was
cheating.
sliding around corners and still passing its competitors?
He's cheating,
He,
guys.
of course, wasn't cheating, he was just kind of a jerk. But the fans loved it. Tsuchiya was winning so easily that he found it boring, so his antics got bigger and bolder, exaggerating his drifting, pushing the track limits, driving fans wild and pissing off the officials. Eventually, the officials had
Utter
had enough
fucking
of it
dominance.
and threatened to suspend his license. His on-track exploits
Whoa.
led him to earn the title of Doriken, or Drift King.
Doriken!
The reputation and controversy around the Drift King inspired Option Magazine to reach out to Tsuchiya. They thought,
I know what my new dream is. I must quit being a VTuber and go become the new Doriken. Hello, it's Yuri, welcome.
what if we were able to show everyone the wild driving style of the Drift King? So they set about following Tsuchiya-sama for weeks, riding along with him and filming him attacking Usui Pass in his personal AE86. What they released is a time capsule, roughly 20 minutes of oddly edited but superbly shot drifting masterclass. Raw sound, pure driving, and few cuts. It was called Plusby,
Bro, if I was in driving, I would have to wear like those noise-ass canceling headphones and shit 24/7.
and it may seem almost timid now, but when it was
Atlas!
created, nothing like it had ever been released.
Atlas!
The reason nothing like it had ever been released was, well, in Japanese culture, filming yourself committing crimes is not as popular as it is here in America.
But it's just as based.
As Plusby started making waves in the automotive scene, authorities took notice and immediately demanded the VHS tapes be removed from store shelves. Now, of course, censorship rarely works.
Oh.
The
That's
controversy just
terrifying.
made Plusby even more desirable, its content more taboo and thus exciting to watch. And with that, drifting had hit the main stage. In 1986, Carboy magazine held what is believed to be the first drifting competition. And hot off the viral hit of Plusby, Keiichi and Daijiro of Option
Well, I know
magazine
who's not
started
winning. What the fuck was that?
And hot
Is
off
that
the
supposed to be
viral
a
hit of
drift? What is
Plusby,
this?
Keiichi and Daijiro of Option magazine started their own drifting events in 1989. They were known as Ikaten. Keiichi and Daichiro never took anything seriously. The Ikaten were meetups of poor car enthusiasts let loose on racing tracks of Japan throughout the 90s. They had no real judging or points, and accomplishments earned drivers the title of various sea creatures, with ranks like jellyfish and...
Guys, can I ask a question? Do you promise not to call me stupid? What's the Streisand effect? Real answers only. No stupid callers. Don't call me stupid. Because somebody said the Streisand effect will never stop being funny, and I'm like, maybe it'd be funny to me too if I remembered what the Streisand effect is. I know I learned it. But what happened? When you try to hide something but it actually makes it stand out more. So true!
Squid. The series got sillier as time went on, eventually even inspiring Keiichi to adopt a cute octopus as his mascot for his parts company, K-Office. Keiichi would go on to become the judge of nearly every important drifting competition in Japan, including D1 GP when it launched in the year 2000. Tsuchiya-sama would host best motoring vids, appear all over in popular culture, he created the Drift
He's
Bible,
an idol.
And was the supervisor and
Bible.
allegedly inspiration for the anime Initial D. Keiichi himself had essentially kick-started the drifting revolution in Japan and subsequently
Is Initial
the
D
world.
good?
But if you asked him, he never meant to. He just drifted because it was faster and because it was more fun. So
Literally, it can all be summed up with that. He's like, it was more fun. It gave me more adrenaline. I'm a junkie.
while he rose to fame as the counter-steering Doriken, his heart always beat for the spirit of real competition, door-to-door racing, and it would be a heartbeat heard round the world.
Wait, why does this remind me of that one scene in Full Metal Alchemist where they're like, it's a terrible day for rain because he like pulls the hat down?
Heard round the world.
When I was racing, everybody knew that I would win. So to stop people being bored and fed up with the same old thing, I started drifting the car through the corners, much more than the other drivers, to keep people interested, and it improved the popularity of the sport.
Isn't it crazy how I feel like in sports there's always, you have people who are like average, you have people who are good, and then you have people who are like great, they're MVPs, and then suddenly you have somebody who's just unfair. You have that one guy who is just completely unfair. Every time they do something, they're like, how does this even fucking exist? How do people like that get born, bro?
Even as Keiichi became a television popularity, a judge for a new form of automotive competition, Tsuchiya never left the driver's seat. He continued to compete and win throughout the 80s, until it culminated with what must be a cornerstone moment for Tsuchiya-sama's life. He was invited to be Kunimitsu Takashi's co-pilot in his Group A Skyline GTR.
Aww.
Yes, the man who had inspired Keiichi so many years before to oversteer his way to the top was now going to be sharing his cockpit. Tsuchiya would commit himself fully to taking...
Can you not choose the why would you choose the word cockpit? Because like what I heard is like he will now get to be sharing his cock. Like my face went from glad to like
that
so
team to the
quick.
podium, eventually earning the duo a third-place podium in Group A. The successes of the Kunimitsu racing team caught the attention of Honda, who were fielding their new NSX GT2 in Le Mans. The GT2 was a monster. It was an NSX-R that had been completely un-Honda'd. 400 horsepower, wide-bodied in carbon fiber and aluminum, and revised and revamped from head to toe. In that year's Le Mans, Team Kunimitsu would start from the pit lane, but 24 hours later, 2 laps ahead of the Callaway Corvettes, Tsuchiya and Kunimitsu would take home a class win. After that, there were wins in Porsche 911s, failures in Dodge Vipers, hell, Tsuchiya even drove a few NASCAR events. His notoriety garnered the attention of team owners. They wanted Tsuchiya-san in their cars. And it would all culminate in what Tsuchiya himself calls his greatest achievement. In 1999, a team of 3 Toyota GT1s would enter Le Mans. Alongside Tsuchiya was Toshio Suzuki and Ukio Katayama. Their pace from the outset was conservative.
I love the music
This
playing.
was an endurance race after all. And the strategy worked. As laps went on, their faster competitors dropped out of the race. One even decided to fly out of the race. Then, near the end of the 24 hours, the Toyota GT1 was battling Team BMW for the top spot. Unfortunately, in those final hours, the
Casually
GT1
just
suffered
like, and here's
tire
a death
puncture and
clip.
would only take home second place. But second place in the world's most difficult and prestigious race is not a bad high watermark. In the following years, Tsuchiya would continue to race Supras and NSXs in the All Japan GT Championship. And then, after decades spent sliding through corner after corner, Tsuchiya-sama would hang up his jade green racing suit for good in 2003. A legacy of smiles, oversteer, and checkered flags behind him. Today, Keiichi Tsuchiya's life might be a bit slower paced than the days of Le Mans victories and Ikaten tire shredding, but his heart beats just the same. From the moment he looked over that fence at Fuji Speedway to see Kuni-san
He's
driving
retired
the
to
flare,
have sex
to standing
full-time
atop
with
a
his
podium
car.
in a country thousands of miles away, Tsuchiya-sama has never lost his spirit. Hell, parked in his garage is his own personal AE86, a masterpiece of underdog engineering, and a shining reminder of what Keiichi himself means to the world. A quiet, humble, smiling champion. Never quite so serious in character, but
Humble?
always a fervent and dedicated competitor. If you were lucky enough to meet Keiichi,
Humble? Were we watching the same video? Where was the humble part? Where is the humble part? The whole fucking video was like, he knew he was gonna win, so he decided to have as much fun as he possibly could. What do you mean humble? I mean, he did it for the audience, not to show off. Are you fucking kidding me?
in person, you'd forget that he had led such a storied life, one of championships and being an icon for an entire motorsports movement. Tsuchiya's story is that of a foundation of an entire sport, an inspiration of a generation, and the competitive spirit of an entire nation. If you asked him, he would tell you that he's just another Japanese racing driver, but to those that have felt his influence through
Fake humbleness irks me. Fake humbleness irks me. I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one.
throughout time, myself included, he is truly so much more than that. He is the Drift King.
He is Dory King! Surely he was being genuine. Okay, I have a question. Press 1 if you think, like, car racing is cool, and press 2 if you're, like, neutral. I want to know if this is, like, a thing that people like a lot in general. Because it seems like a world that I don't see a lot of myself. And I get nervous when I'm in a car and, like, so the person driving it, like, gets really fast. Like, that makes me nervous. I hate it. Oh, you hate it. Damn, he hates it. He's like, I'm not neutral. I fucking hate it. I need 3 because I hate that shit. I'm not a car guy. Damn, he's not a car guy. You know, I was expecting to see a lot more ones, honestly. It's a lot more mixed than I thought it would be. Alright, let's watch one more video. I'm gonna do one of these guys. I don't know which one to pick, though. Apparently it sucks to be born as an anything. It sucks to be born as an eagle. It sucks to be born as a Komodo dragon. It sucks to be born as a fucking giant anaconda. It sucks to be born as a flying snake. Yeah, thank God that doesn't happen. It sucks to be a fucking crocodile? No, it doesn't. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Animals have it rough. I got it roughest of all. I'm the most sad little animal. It doesn't get sadder than me. Hold on. What was that one about the snake? Lives like shit, apparently. Fine, we'll watch the snake one.
You slip into life from the comfort of your mother's body, born
Disgusting.
alive into the dense, warm, humid air of the Amazon. Your mom leaves you the moment she pushes you out, not seeing the difference between giving
Now, see, this is already worse than the horse. Already abandoned. Already left alone.
birth and pooping. You and your siblings scatter in all directions, and the jungle doesn't care that you're new here. He was a great sibling anyway. At the moment, you're only a couple of feet long, and honestly, kinda cute. Jaguars, caimans, and even large birds would find a meal like you irresistible, but you know how to disappear. In the river, you blend in with the brown, murky current, slipping unnoticed beneath the
Blending
surface.
in with shit.
It feels almost fun, but playing in the water makes you hungry, so it's time to get serious. Your senses, though still developing, are already sharp enough to pick
I
up
appreciate
movement
that
in
he
the
gave it
water.
arms
You
so
notice
it would
a
be
small
more
fish
human.
driving by, a perfect target. You freeze, letting the current carry you, getting closer and closer. Your jaws clamp down with shocking speed, and your first kill is yours. It's a tiny victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Easy,
The first of
light
many.
work.
You want to grow fast. Out here, survival is all about getting big, strong, and sneaky. Speaking of sneaky, have you noticed your skin yet? Look at that. A beautifully patterned mix of green and brown, nature's perfect camouflage. Whether you're slinking through the murky water or blending into the dense underbrush, no one can see you coming. You're practically invisible. That's your first real advantage in this wild place. It's not much now, but it'll come in handy once you're ready to hunt something a little
100
more
stealth.
challenging. For now, though, you stick to the basics. You spend your days slithering through the rivers and swamps, mostly keeping to the water where you feel safe. Your eyes and nostrils stay just above the surface as you gently slide through, waiting for an unsuspecting snack to wander a little too close. As you rest just below the surface, you spot a tasty target, a small rodent,
It's a
foolish enough
lazy
to venture
river.
right up to the water's edge. You wait, patiently, and then you strike with lightning speed, wrapping
Holy
your
fuck, he's
coils
actually a
around it,
Orochimaru.
squeezing tight until it's over. Dinner served. Not
A
bad.
truly cruel
You've
and
entered the
savage
juvenile
way of
phase of your
killing
life, and
prey.
things are starting to get interesting. You're bigger now.
He remembers
faster
when he
and
was
stronger,
born?
And your
Aww.
prey, well, you've moved up in the world. Small frogs and fish just don't cut it anymore. Now you've got your eyes on something more substantial, like capybaras. Yeah, the world's
Capybara,
largest rodents
capybara,
on your
capybara,
menu now.
capybara, capybara.
Whew, that was close. But
Leave them
don't get
alone.
cocky just yet. You're still not the biggest predator out here. There are jaguars, caimans, and other anacondas that would love to make a meal out of you if they get the chance. You gotta stay sharp and
Other
use your camouflage to your
anacondas?
advantage.
They eat
Oh,
each
wait,
other?
it's a caiman basking on the riverbank. It's not huge, probably a juvenile like you, but it's still a risky move. You think about it for a moment, weighing your options.
I didn't know that.
Should you go for it? Could be your first big test as a hunter. Why not?
Snake eats snake, so the Ouroboros is real.
You slink into the water, sliding gently toward the caiman with the grace of a shadow. Your muscles coil, ready to strike, and it wasn't as tough as I thought. That's your first taste of success as a true predator, but
I
let's
don't
not
like
get ahead of ourselves.
snakes having human
Not every
teeth.
day's
I
a
don't like
win.
that at all.
There are days when your prey outsmarts you, like that one time you tried to take down a capybara but ended up being dragged halfway across the river before it managed to escape. Yeah, that wasn't your finest moment, but don't worry, no one saw it.
Deserved. Leave the capybaras
The
alone.
good news is you're still growing, and with every meal you get a little bigger, a little stronger, and a little wiser. By the time you're fully into your juvenile phase, the jungle doesn't feel quite as intimidating anymore. Sure, there are still big predators out there, but you're climbing the food chain, and fast. As the months roll by, you become more and more comfortable in your environment. You've perfected the art of hiding in plain sight, waiting for hours, maybe days, or weeks. Huh, finally. A group of capybaras
Wow.
grazing near the water's edge. You sink
Man, that sounds so sad. Like, imagine you're a snake and you just have like a big ass meal and then you don't eat for fucking weeks. Also, because you're waiting for your body to finish digesting the thing that you ate, because it's just like sitting in your tummy, because you don't actually crush it, you just swallow it whole.
slowly beneath the surface, your eyes barely visible as you approach. You wait, your muscles tense, and then, what? Where did this jerk pop up from? Do you think he'd mind if you asked for
You
just
dick,
a
you
small
stole my
bite to curb your
capybara!
hunger? No, maybe that's not such a good idea. Let's get out of here. You continue to refine your skills, learning more about your environment and your
You can
place in
die
it.
waiting to
You've
digest? That's
mastered the
so
art of
fucked
stealth,
up.
using your patterned skin to blend seamlessly into the jungle around you. You've developed a keen sense of smell, allowing you to track prey even through the thickest underbrush. And your body? Pure muscle. At this point, you're
Pure
no longer just a
fucking
juvenile
muscle.
anaconda. You're approaching adulthood. You've reached a size
Shadconda.
that commands respect, or at least some healthy fear from most of the creatures in this territory. At over 15 feet long and still growing, you're a true force to be reckoned with.
Holy
no more
fuck,
small-time
16
snacks for
feet?
you. You've graduated to bigger prey. And by bigger, we're talking deer, wild pigs, and even the occasional caiman that dares to cross your path. As you grow, the jungle becomes more
Ugh.
crowded, and you need a place to call your own. It's
If you
time
ever seen one of these big ass snakes eat, it's actually insane how much their bodies accommodate to fit the prey.
to search for a territory, a safe space where you can hunt, rest, and hunt. You slither through the dense jungle, exploring every corner, crossing rivers, climbing over fallen logs, and navigating the thick underbrush. You need to find a
Yeah, it's
secluded
hot.
area,
Wait, what?
somewhere
Okay,
near water,
mods?
with plenty of prey,
Mark that
but
as a
far from
suspicious
other
viewer.
predators. After days of searching, you find the perfect spot, a quiet stretch of river hidden beneath a canopy of trees. The perfect territory. You mark the area with your scent, claiming it as your own.
They have a scent?
This is where you'll live out the next chapter of your life. And speaking of the next chapter, it's time for something new. Mating. It's not just about survival anymore. Now it's about passing on your genes. As mating season arrives, you begin to pick up the scent of a potential mate nearby. You follow the trail, slithering through the thick jungle and dense swamp until you find another anaconda, a female. What a beauty.
My anaconda does want some.
The courtship begins. It's a slow, winding dance as the two of you coil around each other. For hours, you move together in a mesmerizing spiral until finally the deed is done. The female will carry out your
Wait, what the fuck
legacy.
she say? Axe body spray be like? Yeah, isn't that the one that you use?
Several months later, as a female, you find a secluded area to give birth. You don't lay eggs like many other snakes.
Just
Instead,
shit that
you
out.
give
I
birth
can't
to
believe
live
it.
young. Between 20 to 40 baby anacondas will enter the world, much like you did years ago. But your job's done. You leave, never to see the offspring, knowing that most of them...
I didn't ask you. Yeah, thank you very much, boss, for not firing me after my poor performance review last time. I really appreciate your graciousness. I'm looking forward to the next time you assign me to a new work product that you need me to work on. Thank you.
...won't survive their first year. Honestly, there's no real difference between giving birth and pooping for an anaconda. In both cases, you're just pushing something out and leaving it behind. Anyway, let's get back to some fun now. As you grow older and bigger,
These fucking whore, worthless anaconda mothers, dude.
your body starts to feel the wear and tear of years spent hunting and surviving. You're still strong, there's no doubt about that, but you're not as fast as you once were. The youthful energy that once fueled your every hunt is starting to fade, and you find yourself needing to be a little more strategic with your moves. As you lie submerged in the cool waters of a river, you sense something moving nearby. It's a capybara, casually grazing at the water's edge. Normally, you wouldn't bother with something as small as a capybara anymore, but today you're feeling a little nostalgic. After all, it's been a while since you last took one down, and there's something satisfying about going back to where it all started.
No, leave it alone!
You wait, watching, your body completely still beneath the water's surface. The capybara inches closer, oblivious to the danger lurking just beneath its feet.
Capybara,
and
no!
then, in a flash, you strike. Your coils wrap around the capybara in an instant, and within moments, it's over. You've still got it. But as you swallow your meal, you can't help but notice that it's not quite as satisfying as it used to be. Sure, the thrill
Oh my god, anacondas get depression?
of the hunt is still there, but something's changed. You've grown, not just physically, but mentally. One day, as you stalk a young deer near the water's edge, you sense that something's different. Your muscles coil, ready to strike, but just as you lunge, something goes wrong. The deer senses you at the last second and bolts. You try to chase, but your body doesn't move as quickly as it used to. You miss. The deer escapes. It's
Anaconda are fast? They can chase?
Time, but something feels different this time. You feel the exhaustion deep in your muscles, the
That's
weight
terrifying.
of the years finally catching up with you. You slither back to the water, but you know that it won't get easier from here. In reality, most anacondas don't die in battle. They simply grow too slow and too tired. Eventually, the jungle takes them back.
That's so sad. Damn. This guy sounds like he's got a complex with aging. Maybe he does. But like, I guess it makes sense because you have to deal with age regardless if you're in the animal kingdom. If you're in the kingdom of the animals. That's life. Don't we all? Are you calling it ageism? Me when it's ageism to accurately document the effects of old age on animals in the animal kingdom and then use it in my YouTube video to make entertaining content, comedic content, where I draw every animal standing up straight and having arms. But he didn't give the snake any legs, so I guess he does have that going for him. They don't have the brain power to examine aging. Yeah, isn't that even more sad in a way? They just notice that they're getting slower. That's it. Slower and tired. They don't know that they're getting older. They're losing something. They're losing a grip. Sounds peaceful at least in a way too. I mean, it could be worse. Yeah, you could die like those horses. Like the horses who are fucking cucked, and then they're left out in the winter, and then they get cornered by wolves, and then they die. Yeah, you could live a cuck's life. At least the anacondas are not living the cuck life. That is good for them. Proud of them for that. Or like the capybara. Man, they should make a video on capybaras. I want to know how capybaras live. They are an underutilized animal. Not only that, but also the quokka. We need a video on the quokka. I need more videos on quokkas and how they live their lives and how things go for quokkas. The only thing I don't need is a house cat, because I know how house cats live their lives. They live it by not paying a fucking sliver of rent, and it makes me so goddamn angry. Pay some rent! Anyway, as promised, today is a shorter stream, so I will be rating somebody who, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let me look what we have here. We have women playing Final Fantasy 14. We have women playing Super Seducer. Oh, Super Seducer. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, we're gonna rate PP Slayer. I like Super Seducer. What a fucking video game. Very good, very good, very good. I like it. I do. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. But yeah, thank you guys very much for today. I had a good time. I'm glad that I decided to stream even though I felt kind of shit because I didn't feel too good. I felt bad and unhealthy this week. But Chatty, I promise I'm gonna eat better this week. And I'm gonna eat earlier. I'm gonna do so much better and you're gonna be so proud of me and you're gonna be like, wow, I can't believe it. Lucy Pyre can in fact make changes in her life if all she cares to do is to try. And I will try every fucking day to earn your love and your respect. We love you, wife. I love you too, Chatty. I love you too. I hope that you guys liked the streams even though they were kind of scuffed this week. Kind of scuffed because they didn't go the way I planned, but either way they were fun. I liked the Double D dinosaur game. It was a lot better than I expected, and the videos that you guys sent were pretty interesting. Thank you for that. Again, go to Reddit and submit more videos so that I can fucking dissociate live on stream with you. It's really fun. We love dissociating. Ooh, woo. Feel better, boo-boo. You're calling me boo-boo now? I don't know how I feel about boo-boo. You can call me... baby. Okay, shit. My rate's coming out. Chatty, I love you. Have a good rest of your weekend. Mwah! Bye-bye. Bye-bye.